Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and sorry I'm just a little bit late. I got an email from Vince at the last minute, and he was having some issues getting on to the door prize slip. So hopefully I got those fixed. I went in there and quick changed those links, so I'm hoping I got those fixed. Vince, if you could let me know, that'd be great. That was on my website, www.DDStamps.com. I just heard my phone go off and I meant to shut that down. But anyway, I welcome you here tonight. Just so you're all aware, I'm on YouTube Live, and hopefully down in the comment section, I got those links correct. If I didn't, let me know, and I can hopefully try to change those at some point during the workshop. So I'm on Facebook. Some of you are out there, and I'm on my website. So if you want to go ahead and leave comments, that's great. I can answer questions. That's one of the things I love about these workshops, is I can answer your questions as you ask them. And if I don't have if I need to show you something, it's easy to do that from this room. As you can see, my stamp room is quite the mess. I've been working on a lot of things, and it just gets messy. So I've got lots to share with you tonight. I've got a couple of projects that I'm going to do at different techniques. And then I've got lots of samples of stuff. I kind of had a hard time deciding what to show. But I came up with some cute ideas, and so that's what we're going to do tonight. They're kind of fall looking cards. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. If you can you hear me? Because I don't see... I see people saying hello. Hello, Kelly. Yes, okay. Buffy asked, are we on? Is it working on YouTube? Of course, you wouldn't be able to answer me if you don't know. It should be. Let me click on the watch page and see. YouTube? Yep, it's according to YouTube, I am on. Oh, yes, good. Okay, people say they can hear me. That's awesome. Cool. So I'm just going to shut that down. Yes, yes, yes. Yay. Okay, so that's what I wanted to hear. Like I said, if you have questions, please let me know. One of the things that I can hear you, but I cannot see you. Oh, I think that's on your end. One of the things is if too many people are commenting or whatnot, I might miss your question. So ask it again until I answer. And hopefully, let's see. Is this the workshop that was supposed to be last night? Yes. Yeah, this is the workshop that was supposed to be last night. Things got carried away last night or yesterday, and I ended up having to cancel. I had some things I had to deal with. Nothing major. I just had some things I had to deal with, and so I did it tonight because I had a free night. So I am shocked because I am not sure. I haven't done one of these. I feel like I haven't done one for a long time, but I'm sure I did it at the beginning of the month in September. But anyway, I'm glad to be back, and I will be doing another one later. Something wonky here, no sight or sound. CBG, I would love to tell you to log out and come back in, or to go onto Facebook, or go onto my website at www.DDStamps.com, and you should be able to pick up the workshop from there. So if somebody... There is not fabric ink anymore, CCJ. Let me type a message into somebody. Sorry. There. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna switch screens. Happy to have your workshop whenever you have it. Thanks, Bobby. Let me get to the other screen. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pop over to the workshop table and answer that first question. I got a question this afternoon, or just shortly before we started, from Lee, and she wanted to know how to line these stamps up. And I am assuming she's talking about this one, and this one, and this, or this one. So I've got some ink here. I'll just use what I have. And this is a Paisley stamp. She wanted to know how to line it up. Let me grab how to line up those stamps. So I like to use a paper piercing mat with my photopolymer just because it gives just a little bit of cushion to the stamp. And I'm kind of guessing here. She told me it was this stamp set. I'm going to do a couple different things with it. And hopefully I will. Hopefully, Lee, if you're on here, let me know if I'm doing what you needed to know. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this one. And you get a great image, and that paper piercing mat helps. But I think what you wanted to know was then how to line up these dots. But I'm not sure. See, I don't think it lines up, Lee. This was the stamp that I thought you were talking about. And I'll just ink it up in a different color, but I'm not so sure that those two actually line up together. I hope my head's not in the way. So, you know, it just goes right around that line. So that might be. The other thing I thought was, if you stamp this one first, the dots, then when you come in with this one, in a different color, you should be able to line that up right inside those dots. Like that. And that's how you get your paisleys. So this dotted one does not even line up with that bigger one. Now my guess is that's what you were asking about, Lee. And if it's not, let me know, and I will try to figure it out. I'm just going to set these aside for now because I'm not using that set tonight. And then I'll go check and see if I answered the question. Yes, that's the one. Did I line it up, Lee, the way that you were talking? The dotted one doesn't actually line up with that big paisley. You're welcome, Lee. Cool. On these two-step stamps, sometimes what I find is if I do the darker color first and then come in with the lighter color, it's easier to see through the photopolymer. And make sure that your ink pads are not too wet, but inked up. You're welcome, Lee. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to actually go back now that I see that that was what the answer was. I'm going to come back here, and we are going to start with the first card. And let me show you the first card. I'm starting to get a Charlie horse in my hand. This could be interesting. Let me show you. This is the first card. How pretty is that? So I got the inspiration from an idea I saw online, but I changed it up a bit. I'm going to take you through this card from start to finish. I'll just set that aside for now. And to begin with, I'm going to start with this is a full-size sheet of cardstock. It's 8.5 by 11. And I'm just going to show you quickly how I come in here, and I'm going to cut it at 5.5 this way. Oops, I better put that into the. So this is the 11-inch side, and I'm cutting it at 5.5. And then turning this at 4.25, and that's actually where I'm going to score it. So that's going to be my card base. That gives me my base of my card. And then I'm going to cut this piece, the piece that I did, into the embossing folder. So I take this other half of the cardstock, and this one, I'm going to go to the 4-inch mark. That's going to cut off 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to turn it, and it's at 5.5. I'm going to bring that down to 5.25. And then what I get is I get a nice piece that I'm going to use to layer right over the top of that. And when you look at it from this viewpoint, you can see where I get that nice 1/8 inch frame around my piece. So that's how I cut my cardstock. And then I'm going to take this piece. I just realized I don't think I have the embossing folder out here. Good thing I'm in my room. So hang on. While I look for the embossing folder, oh goodness. We were kind of in here stamping today, and things got mixed up. Oh, here it is. Sorry about that. It was sitting up in my Big Shot area. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my Big Shot in. And I'll just put it over the top of everything. So this folder that I'm using, this knit one, is one of those big, huge, thick, it's like a 3D embossing folder. So you get the cable knits, the cables in there, you can see that, and then a little texture in there. So it's a really thick embossing folder, and it's great. So I'm going to come in with my plate, and then I'm going to tuck my piece of cardstock inside the embossing folder. And some people are spraying their cardstock beforehand with a little bit of water or some rubbing alcohol. I just found it's okay if my cardstock cracks a little bit. I'm okay with it. What I'm doing is I'm taking my folded edge of my embossing folder and I'm putting that going into the machine that way so that all the pressure comes out the side that doesn't have this comes out the side that has an opening. And then I just use a clear plate. So because that embossing folder is so thick, you only have to use one clear plate because the embossing folder is as thick as a clear plate. And when I come out the other end on this piece of cardstock, and I take it out of there, I have got this great textured piece of cardstock. You can really see. This is really fun. Now, if I wanted this to even be a little bolder and have a little more, show up a little better, I might sponge some Soft Sky ink on that just to get those cables to show. But I really didn't want it to overtake the card. I've got enough going on in this card. I just wanted it to be a cable knit sweater in the background. So what I did then is I flipped this over, and I'm going to come in with some of our, what I call green glue, or liquid glue. And the reason that I'm using this is because we have so much texture going on in this particular card. You can see all the various amounts of texture. I'm going to put this on here, and that glue is going to go ahead and hold that down. I could have used like fast fuse or some sticky strip, but I just use it. I like to use the mono with that because it's got so much texture. That's going to really hold that down for the glue. Okay, once I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, and I actually did cut some pieces beforehand. And so I used the autumn paper, which I don't even have the name of it out here. Let me grab it. Let me grab what I have here. This is what I have left over. So these are my scraps of designer series paper. I actually put them into photo album pages. And then I just throw all my scraps in there. But this is some gorgeous paper. Let me show you a few pieces here. This is my favorite one. I haven't cut it yet. And then I've got this mosaic, which is what I'm using today. And then there's some acorn paper. And then some fall foliage. And then you flip these over, you get a whole nother design on the back. So you can make a lot of different things. So I believe this is one of the papers that's on sale, buy 3, get 1 free. You can buy 3 different kinds and get 1 free. So once I've done that, I'm going to take my coffee cup. And this I just cut out with my framelits. I used the coffee cup's framelits. And I cut out a coffee cup, and I cut out a band, and I cut out the top. Actually, I didn't. My soon-to-be daughter-in-law cut them out for me this afternoon. She was over here helping me. And so I just wanted to save a little time and have those cut for you. And then I'm going to come in with some dimensionals. Let me grab some of those. So I'm just going to take a couple. I love these little mini dimensionals. If you don't have them yet, they are great. I could have used the big ones on this one, but I just love having different sizes of dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the back of that. So I got double stick tape on foam. And then I'm going to add my coffee cup. And because those are dimensionals, they're going to stick really well to that textured cardstock. And then I'm going to grab a couple of mini ones, and I'm going to put the coffee cup lid on. And these are going on with dimensionals too. And that's just going to go right onto the lid of my cup. And then I'm going to take this piece. And with this piece, I'm going to go ahead and use the new Mary Cafe stamp set. This is another coffee stamp set that covers lots of different holidays. It's got Christmas and fall and Halloween, New Year's. Lots of different. Let me grab that and let the dog in. She hears me talking and it's driving her nuts. Come on, Petra. Come on. Come on. Sorry about that. And it even has Valentine's Day. So lots of different holidays to decorate your coffee cups with. I'm going to go ahead and do a fall one. Not quite ready. Oh, there it is. Not really quite ready for winter yet. We have had several snows here, and of course it's October, so it's time. But we had a beautiful day today, and I love those beautiful fall days. So I'm just inking up and I'm stamping Hello Fall. It's pumpkin spice latte season, which, you know, if you go to any coffee shop anywhere, it is definitely latte season. I'm going to take this little piece and just use some snail and add that right onto my coffee cup for a wrap. It was kind of fun, just a really simple look. And then what I did is I'm going to come in with a piece of cardstock, an extra one here, and I'm going to show you a little technique with baby wipes. The baby wipe technique has been one of my favorites for a long time, and I was kind of goofing around today, so it's kind of fun to bring back some of those techniques. Now, this is a baby wipe, but it actually is just a regular baby wipe. It's dry. It dried out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay it down here on my, I don't even need to have it on that foam. I'm going to put, here's a little barrier. This is just a piece of the dimensionals. See how it has that waxy barrier on there? That's kind of nice to keep things so they're not, so I don't have ink bleeding through. What I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to take a squirt bottle with water and just kind of reactivate that baby wipe. And then I'm just going to come in with a couple of different colors of ink and just make my own ink pad. So I'm just going to drop ink. Hopefully it's in the camera so you can see this work. That water activates the ink and it starts to bleed out a little bit. And I'm just dropping. So I've dropped Cajun craze, crushed curry, a little pumpkin action going in there, and then a little bit of garden green. And these are the colors that I picked out of the designer series paper. And I actually, even the pool party or the sky, that came right out of the paper too. So all these colors came out of the paper. Once I've done that, I'm just going to kind of let it sit for a minute because I want it to be able to kind of bleed together. There's a lot of ink going on right there. And I'm missing the stamp that I need. Oh, it's right here. I already got it ready. So this stamp that I'm using right now comes from Colorful Season. I'm using the smaller of the two leaves. I could actually use either one, but I'm going to use a smaller one. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this as my ink pad, and I'm going to ink up my stamp and stamp it down. And sometimes the colors bleed together too much. Yeah, I think I got a little too much water in there. They look better as they dry, but let me show you what I did this afternoon. So this afternoon I made them, and Brittany cut them out for me. But they're beautiful, and I think what I did is my colors were separated and maybe not so much water. But it just gives you a really cool fall look. And then I cut them out with the framelit that coordinates. And so it's kind of fun. You can do a lot with that. I probably got a little too much ink in there, but once I've done that, I'm going to take these leaves that I cut out, and again, with the dimensionals, I'm going to add a few onto my card. And as you can see with this coffee cup and that stamp set, it could be for any season because it pulls all of your seasons in together. Do that, and then I'm going to take one, just add a little bit of snail and kind of tuck it up under the cup. I got room in there. So there you go, a really quick and easy card. And then the last thing that I did is I came in with some of our burlap ribbon. And again, I have a piece of it somewhere. Oh, here it is. So I cut a piece off, and I'm going to just pull off a couple of those strands and then use this to make the bow. And so I just have a little twine bow, just to add a little bit more decoration to this coffee mug. And then I'm just going to add a little snail, or you could use a glue dot and stick that right to the top of it, and then trim off my edges. But really a quick and easy stamped card. And with that baby wipe technique, you can make an ink pad of any color. This is really beautiful too with you know, snowflakes or whatever you have. So there's my quick and easy card tonight. I have another one, but I just wanted to show you that with that baby wipe technique. That's one of my favorite techniques, is adding that to adding those reinkers to the baby wipe. That is my favorite DSP, is the autumn harvest DSP. Okay, so let me see what questions we have. Can you keep that inked up baby wipe and re-wet it another day to use it again? No. You know what I've done in the past, Annie, is I will do up like the inked up baby. Look at my fingers. I'm just full. You can tell what I was doing today. I will do a baby wipe with a bunch of ink, and then I will stamp paper. So I'll take out, you know, 8.5 by 11 sheets of cardstock and just stamp images using that same baby wipe. You can get quite a few images. I think, you know, you could probably get 20, 25 images. So when you're doing leaves like that, then you have a whole bunch of leaves that you just have to trim out and use. I hope that makes sense. So that's cool. Yeah, the leaves they're beautiful with that baby wipe. And I like it with like snowflakes with all different color blues. It's really pretty. Okay, I'm kind of checking for questions. Cece says she's definitely casing. Well, that's good, because that's really what this is all about. I don't see. Yeah, I love the coffee stamp sets too, Julie. Julie, I wish I would have grabbed a picture. We have, Julie is my my gal that loves to see the moose around Red Lodge. And I might have to pull up my Facebook page, because we have a mama with 2 calves that have been around town for a couple weeks now. They're beautiful, and it's really fun to see them. They're all over. So I might have to pull up a picture for you before the end of the workshop. Okay, so I think I got everybody's questions asked. I'll have to go and check on my my website's the hardest one to check. Vince, did I get that fixed? I hope. Good. So I did get I'm hoping that my door prize thing works on YouTube and on Facebook. I was having an issue right before I got on tonight. Vince sent me a message saying it wasn't working. Nancy, if it's a little blurry, it may be between my connection and your connection. So I'm glad you're here. Oh, good. So it looks like I just have hellos, lots of hellos. Oh, okay. So the door prize is not working on YouTube. Somebody just let me know, but it is working on Facebook. So and it's also working at www.DDStamps.com on my website. So I will, before the end of the night, I will make sure that I get it fixed on YouTube. I hope I can do it. I'm sure I can figure it out. Do you have to use a dry baby wipe to start with? No, you do not. Actually, Judy, it works. That project works better if the baby wipe is a baby wipe, if it's damp, and then don't add water to it. If you just go ahead and use a damp baby wipe, it works much better. I didn't realize my baby wipes were so dry till I pulled them out this afternoon, and then I just wetted one and it worked better. So yeah, if your baby wipes are already wet, go for it. Okay. Looks like we're good. Questions are answered. Good. Okay. Trying to think. Couple of things. Let me pull up a screen here. I just wanted to share with you. I talked a little bit about that paper that I was using, and I wanted to show you the papers that are on sale. So this Painted Autumn Designer Series paper is the one that I just used, and it's got some great, like I said, the paper's beautiful. I don't know if you guys can actually see this, but so this is one side. These are the sides together. That's my favorite one. I love that one too. Actually, I think I love it all. Anyway, so that's the Designer Series paper. And you'll see that these are the ones that are on sale. There's actually some on here that are in the holiday catalog. So this one's in the holiday catalog, and this Merry Christmas, the Christmas Around the World is in the catalog. So buy 3, get 1 free. That's a great deal. The other thing I wanted to just touch on tonight is the World card making stamp sets that are on sale and a couple of products. So these are on sale until October 10th, and all kinds of stamp sets, some note cards and envelopes. And we did have fast views on sale, but what happened was people went crazy and Stampin' Up! Sold like, I don't know, 6 years worth of fast views in about 24 hours. And they ran out and they never saw that one coming. So what they're going to do is they're going to order more in, and then down the road, they will have another fast view sale and bring it back. But they had to stop it because the people went crazy. Yeah, Julie heard that there's some new blendies coming. Funny that you should ask. I just received them tonight. I got to play with them for about 30 minutes before I got on tonight. So they're beautiful, and it'll be fun. It's going to be a while before they've sent them out to demonstrators to play with and make sure that everything's going well with them, and then they'll offer them to customers. But it's not going to happen in the next couple weeks, but they do say it's going to happen before Christmas. So I'm going to play with them, and I will certainly share that with you. Like I said, I just got them today, and I just had 30 minutes before I got on here. In fact, you can see that bucket right there. Those are them. I just dumped them all in the bucket and had to get ready for this workshop. So there's my answer to that one. Yeah, all the DSP, all the designer series paper really is. Oh, so the door prize slip worked for some people on YouTube. Okay, hopefully the Facebook one is working. But if it's not, I can get it fixed. So, okay, I am going to go back over and I'm going to show you some samples of things that I have done in the last couple weeks. There's lots of samples to show. I've got some that are Halloween, some are Christmas. We will have a drawing too for that, for the cards. Okay, so let me start with, these are just some of the things I did for Halloween using that spooky cat set in our little cello boxes. This doesn't have anything in it, but I just wanted to show you how quickly I just put this wrap on there, and I punched out a cat and a pumpkin, and I actually put a little Wink of Stella on the pumpkin so it glows, and added a little ribbon. Now this one, did I show this one before? This was actually a project that I did for my tutorial last month, but my favorite part about this one is the ribbon. I took our lemon lime ribbon and I stamped on it with a stamp Happy Halloween and some of our black archival ink. And that just makes them, it's just adorable ribbon. I did another little packet with just some little Skittles in it. I found Skittles to have great colors that worked with some of our stuff. And again, I did some Wink of Stella onto the punch. So this was a label punch, and then I punched another one in pumpkin and split it in half and then lined it up to layer with that one. Oh, these cards are cute. Okay, so these cards I did last weekend. I was just goofing around with some Christmas stuff, and I was playing with that new Santa Claus set. So this is a piece of the black and white designer series paper that I sponged and made it real red, and then added the little mittens and a hat to a tag. How cute is that? Santa with his clothes on the line. And of course I did Wink of Stella on all the hair and the white. This one, I made him a little pair of pajamas with a piece of designer series paper that I paper pierced in there. Did the same. I really, really like that striped paper for this. So you can see that I made some in red and some in green just for the fun of it. Again, same card, same kind of layout. This was just black and old olive paper. I didn't even have to sponge the color on there. But lots of fun. I'm going to get some red ribbon to tie onto there. Anyway, I love this little set, and I was having a hard time finding projects to do with it, and so I was kind of happy that I came up with those ideas. Another thing I did was our test tubes. Oh, that one doesn't fit up. So these are our little test tubes that are in the holiday catalog. They're cute. And I used this little Halloween stamp set. I love this with the potion that you could do in different colors. So you stamp the potion bottles, and then you stamp in the potions with the bubbles. And then I, of course, did Wink of Stella to that one too. And I have a whole box of these to give away. But I see the ribbons are all coming off of them. Let me see. There's another one. So I just did a whole bunch of those for fun. And then today, my soon-to-be daughter-in-law and I were playing with some of the Christmas kits. And so this is an ornament kit that you can get in the holiday catalog. It's pretty easy to do. These were fast and easy. These would be a fun project with kids. I just used a low temp glue gun to put in the tool and add the label. But a lot of fun, pretty easy to do. Those. Oh, let's see what else I got here. Oh, this is cute. Okay, so this is something I got at my retreat. One of the gals that came to our retreat, Alicia brought this as a make and take. I love this stamp set, but it's really a cute card, and it just really opens up like that, and then opens up like this, and there's your greeting. I did muck it up there a little bit with some ink because I was in a hurry, but isn't that cute? And then she just took a little strip of that gingham, and see how little that is, to put up the side of that card. That fun little card there. And then this one, I love this one, and I will probably show you how to do this, but this again uses the same paper that we're using tonight. It made out of one piece of cardstock, and then it flipped up. You can see it's all together, and she put in a little pumpkin spice latte, but you could actually put in a candy bar in there or anything using that same set with the same papers that I used tonight. So that's kind of fun. I've got another card to show you. So I'm going to bring that out. This is the card. This is a lot of, it's beautiful. I wish you could see it because these leaves have Wink Stella on them. These little pretty looking leaves. And then I did some stamping on there. But I'm using watercolor paper for this one. And to begin with, I'm coming in with my crushed curry and an aqua painter. I want to make sure this is clean because yeah. So anyway, an aqua painter has the water in the tube and then a brush at the end, and then you squeeze on that, the water comes right out through this end. So what I'm going to do to do my watercolor background to begin with is just add water to this piece of watercolor paper. And it isn't anything, and then I'm going to come in with my color and just add in the color. And what happens is it bleeds out to where the water is and kind of spreads. So really there isn't like a whole magic to watercoloring. It just is really kind of random. But wherever I have water, that ink is going to bleed out to. And I can actually take it out even a little farther. That's how I did my background. Super, super simple and super easy. Now the difference in the colors are, I used a lot of straight ink on this one, so it got really dark, but I kind of wanted it to be a little bit lighter this time around. Now, one of the things that I can do, I'm just going to close that up for now, but to get this to dry is I can actually hit it with the heat gun and take some of that water out. I like my watercolor to, I do like it to just dry on its own because you get some variations, real good variations of color, but in order to finish this card, I'm going to have to hit it with a heat gun. So I hope that this sound doesn't drive anybody crazy, but I'll just show you how quickly it happens. Doesn't take much. The nice thing about watercolor is if you wanted to do more colors in there or have it be a little bit darker, you can always hit it again with more water and more color. I could have come in with a couple of different colors on here, and it really would have just added to it. But my background on this one, I want it to be pretty plain because I'm going to come in with other colors over the top of this. So there you have that. I'm going to kind of keep that close because I'm going to use it again. But there's how I got the watercolor background. Really, it doesn't need to be hard. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in again with that aqua painter, and it's okay if it has yellow on it because I'm just going to color out, put some water on this paper, and I'm using again the watercolor paper. And then I'm going to come in with some pumpkin pie. I'm going to pick up some of that color and drop that in there. And then I'm also going to come in with a little darker Cajun Craze. And I'm going to drop some of that color in there. And I really just want it to kind of blend in around together. Maybe bring in some more orange. And just kind of swirl it up like that. And then this is going to dry. And so I'm going to let this set aside to dry. And once it's dry, I'm going to take that leaf from that framelit set and just cut out leaves. And you can see where some of them are into the white. And so you just take a section of it and cut it out, and you get all different kinds of leaves. I love this little skeleton leaf thing. I think it's really a lot of fun. They're beautiful in gold. Some of you that placed an order with me probably got a thank you or will be getting a thank you if you placed an order in September. I sent them out this week. But they were gold, these leaves with the gold paper. But I just love the look of that. Okay, so then I'm going to come back with this one. Let me clean up this little stamp that I used. So again, I'm going to use that little flower stamp, or flower leaf. And I'm going to come in with some pumpkin pie and just ink that up, and goes directly on to my cardstock. And it doesn't matter if it's in there or if it bleeds out a little bit more, it's all good. If you want it to be something that looks a lot more watercolored, once you've got these leaves on there, you could come in and stamp or spray it with water. And I'm just going to add, I always tell people when you start to hover and you don't know where to stamp, then you should stop. Because that means you probably have enough stamping going on. So there's that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two leaves and I'm just going to add, let me get a piece of cardstock under them. I'm just going to color them with Wink of Stella, the whole thing. And that is just, Wink of Stella is just a clear glitter. And this just gives them that, just one more little oomph on this card to really make them pop. And that Wink of Stella dries fairly quickly. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but they're beautiful. Put it up there a little bit. Probably not. Anyway, they have a little shimmer to them. Once I've done that, I'm going to take one of those tiny little dimensionals that I talked about. Oh, here they are. I'm going to take a tiny one and I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to take each half and flip it over, and there's a little spot right there on the leaf, right there where it meets up. That's perfect for just a half of a dimensional. And then I'm going to attach that. And attach that. And you can just see how this card starts to come together. It's so simple, but it looks like you really, really worked hard. And you haven't, which is a good thing. And then I'm coming back in with that same stamp set that I used with the leaf. And this is a great set. This is Colorful Seasons. And I'm going to take the Thinking of You. I had to look at it and make sure that's what it said. Let me grab a block. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink this up in Cajun Craze. And I'm actually going to stamp this at the bottom of my cardstock here. And because I'm using watercolor paper, I'm just going to hold it for a minute. Make sure that that ink can just soak into those fibers. And then my Thinking of You looks fabulous. Yay! And then the last thing I did is I just came in with a couple of, a couple sequins, which I actually have out here. I just pulled some out. And let me grab that fine tip glue. So I'm going to go ahead and use the fine tip glue, and that's the glue that has the wire in it and just that little fine tip. And I can just go ahead and add a couple sequins on here. So I'm dropping some glue on my card. And then the nice thing is I can just pick up those sequins and drop them into the glue that I left on the card. with that tip. Just a really easy way to put your sequins on. And I never really know what to do with sequins, but it just adds just a little bit. Now, the one thing I will tell you when you're using this glue, make sure that you poke that back into the top. Make sure the wire gets down inside there, because that will keep it from getting blocked. So, quick, easy card. This one I just layered with some cardstock, the Cajun Craze, and then again with the crushed curry. I don't have a piece out here, so I'm just gonna, I'll layer this after I'm done. But I just used the colors that were in there. But really just a fun, easy technique, and that shimmer on those leaves, those little skeleton leaves, really make it pop. Okay, so a couple of things. Okay, I'm coming back so you can ask questions. Thank you. I love that. I just love that card. That was one that we were, like I said, we were just playing today, and I wasn't sure what I should do, and I thought, well, let's play with this. Oh, good. I'm glad that that's awesome to use that fine tip for the, good evening to you, Diane. Thank you for loving my projects. Tutorial, please, on the coffee card. I will actually take pictures and post them up. Not tonight and probably not tomorrow, but before the weekend's out. Oh, I paper pieced the pajamas. So what I did was I took the Santa and I stamped his body on a piece of designer series paper. And then I cut out the clothes that he's wearing with that designer series paper. And then on another piece of paper, I stamped the Santa body. And then I taped that piece of designer series paper where the clothes would be. Does that make sense? I can show you. That's the nice thing about doing it here. Okay, what weight is your watercolor paper? I have no idea. I'd have to look it up. Julie. I'm just using whatever Stampin' Up has. Andy's gonna make the rosette kit. Oh, good. Your sisters, they'll have fun because they're pretty easy. So it's awesome. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back over there and I'm going to show you when I talk about paper piecing, what I'm actually talking about, because I find it's easier to tell people than it is to show people, or to show people. No, it's easier to show people than it is to tell people. So let me go grab some stuff. Okay. Let me put this with the pile. And let me grab Santa. So I'm using the Santa suit set, and the little Santa's here, and this needs to go there, this needs to go here. And let me grab some scratch paper. Okay. So what I do is I'm going to take a black ink pad, and I'm going to stamp the Santa onto this piece of designer series paper that I just grabbed. And then I'm going to stamp the Santa on another piece of paper. And then I'm going to take a pair of scissors, and I'm just going to trim out around the clothes. And this works with any kind of designer series paper. And it really works with just about any stamp. So you can see how I'm just cutting out the clothing. And I'm actually just cutting right along on that black line. Doesn't have to be perfect. Because when you're done, then you're going to take the clothes and you're going to line it up on the other stamped image. And that's how you do paper piercing. That's how you get that Santa Claus. Different clothes on. And so what I did on this one here, where is this one here? Then I cut him out. But I actually used 2 different colors of kind of paper. So his little flap here has this designer paper and then the green stripe. But yeah, super easy. You can do that with all kinds of stuff. Any of your stamps. You'd be amazed when even a flower and you add in some of that. You have a small smudge at the top of your card, add a sequin to cover that up, unless it does bother you. Yeah, I'd have to look at the card and see where that small smudge is. Okay, so we're getting close to being done. This was a quickie. Hopefully I taught you some new information. Wanted to make sure you knew about that. Yeah, I cut his head off, but I put the clothes onto the stamp, so cool. Oh, I better check. I always forget to check my website. See, I talked about that. Okay, I got a couple questions here. Love the leaf card. Thank you. And Lisa loves the leaves too. Yeah, those are fun cards. I like the I just like the colors. Fall is my favorite season, so you can't really go wrong with fall. Okay, so I'm going to give away a couple things. So I'm going to give away the cards that I made tonight. And I'm going to give one away on YouTube, one away at my website, and one away on Facebook. And I'm going to think of a question to ask you. And then whoever gets the answer right first gets a card sent to them. And then I'm also going to do a door prize drawing. So that's coming up. So you should be able to click on YouTube or my website or Facebook to get into the door prize drawing. And I think you're going to like the door prize tonight because it's pretty awesome. So the question is going to be, what was the name of the stamp set that I used that had the leaves in it? The leaves that I used tonight. What was the name of that stamp set? And the verse that I used. Not the coffee cup one, the other stamp set. And then, the door prize is going to be this brand new Mary Pattern stamp set. This is one that Stampin' Up! Is giving away to hostesses who have a party of, I think, 350 or more. They get this set. This is a lot of fun. I love this because you can stamp these candles here and then these candles and then these candles in 2 different colors. And then you have beautiful candles. And then up here, the 'Tis the Season is a great stamp, but then you can also add that inside that to make it a pattern. And then of course the deer, which was my sister's favorite. You can, if you use them both, then you have a deer that's wearing a sweater. Anyway, fun stamp set. This is the door prize. And I need to write down a number. I haven't even looked to see how many people are involved, but I'm just going to write down a number. So today's number is going to be 63, because that was a good year, the year I was born. And that will be the winner. Oh, Marie, I'm sorry that you had internet problems. But the nice thing is that these are taped. So if you miss something, you can always watch the tape. Okay, so the stamp set was called Colorful Seasons, and I'm looking right now. So it looks like Kathy, making sure, Kathy DeHay won on Facebook's and on YouTube. Let me search. I don't want to mess up. Bobby Kuhn, is that how you say your last name, Bobby? K-U-H-N. You are the winner on YouTube. And on my website, I'm there. Colorful Seasons was Judy. JudyLL@hotmail.com. You got the winning. So what I need those people to do is, if you're a winner, send me a message, send me an email at DDStamps.com, and I will get those cards out to you. And oh, that was the old message. Okay. And I'm just going to check one more time around to make sure that I got everybody's questions answered. Did anybody have a question? People love the Santa. Love the fall card. Love the colorful seasons. Yeah. Okay. So here's the deal. There is a oh, I wanted to show you the, just a second. Now I'm going to pull up my Facebook so I can show you the moose and the moose and the babies, because they're cute. Who doesn't love to see that on any given day? To find the best picture of them, that's a good one. Okay. Google Hangouts. This is a lovely one. This is off the bench. So this is above town, and I live like right here, and they're just walking. It's just beautiful. That's a fun picture of them. And then here's a beautiful picture of them too. I don't know if, yeah. Isn't that cute? Aren't they adorable? They're so cute. They're all over town. We have 5 moose, these 3 and 2 other moose in town. And we have deer galore. And the other night I dropped my sister off at her house. She just lives a couple blocks away. I dropped her off at her house and I went to drive home and I almost hit a bear. Bear ran right in front of my car. And actually today on the way, we walked down the alley on the way home and I see that there's bear scat out in our alley. So the bears are out trying to fatten up for the winter. They're always around this time of year, so it's always amazing. But anyway, just a couple of pictures of where I live. Yeah, I'm lucky. I live in a beautiful place. Can't complain. Wouldn't do any good anyway. So anyway, those 3 people that won, send me your addresses at Diane@DDStamps.com, or on Facebook you can send me a message and I will get those cards out to you. And the winner of the door prize, which is that great set, happens to be Catherine. And Catherine's email is KMKCURIE at Comcast. So Catherine, you won the stamp set. You just need to send me an email and let me know your address so that I can get it to you. And if nobody has any more questions, there is a door prize or a host code for this week. So what I do is I send out packets of goodies for those people that order 40 or more. Use the hostess code. The hostess code should be posted on my website, Facebook, and at YouTube. I put that the orders all go in together, and then I use the hostess benefits and I make card packets up for my tutorials so that I send you enough product to make at least the cards that I have in my tutorial, but it's always more. So you have extra products too, so you can make extra cards, whatever. So don't forget to use the host code. If you haven't already, check into my virtual club. It's $25 a month for 6 months, and after that you get the hostess rewards for whatever you ordered. So let's say you decide that you could order more 1 month, $50 1 month, and maybe $75 another month. But I add up, total all that up, and then you get the hostess benefits for whatever it is that you purchase in that 6-month period. I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know, because it's kind of confusing. I do ask that people be a part of the club for 6 months to earn your benefits. So that's just how it works best for me, and it makes it so that I can make it fair for everybody. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to call me or send me an email or send me a message on Facebook. I will be more than happy to answer. I'm hoping to be able to do another one of these. I will definitely do another one before the end of October. Sometimes you might find that I'm just going to schedule it and we're going to go for it, and you'll always get notice, but it may not be more than 24 hours. Just because sometimes if I find a quick spare moment, I'm going to pop up and do a workshop. So if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to somebody has the same problem with kangaroos. They must live in Australia. Great. It sounds like everybody's got their questions answered. So Cajun Craze is still a current color. Yes. I've just used up all of my Cajun craze. Again, I just ordered a pack and it's already gone. So great. Everybody have a good evening. Thank you for coming by and enjoy yourself. Take care. Bye.